Russ Campbell to speak on the history of United colleges. While he's doing that, just so everyone's aware, I think Steve did. Sadly, yesterday, one of our former players with United, Ian Patrick, was laid to rest yesterday. Key member of the 1982 United Premiership winning side. So if we could just take a moment's silence just to obviously remember him and his family at this difficult time. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Russ Campbell.
So everyone, I'm Russ Campbell, played for United in the late 80s. The only notable thing I did really was touch Hibby's boots as he ran over the top of me in 12th grade. But the history of United actually goes back quite a long way to the opening of Wright College in 1958. Back then, Wright was the only male college on campus, and so it was the only college supplying players to the University of New England Rugby Club, and they won the titles in 58 and 59. Then the Strops opened in 1960, and so 1960, Union New England won the comp again. It was a mix of Wright and Rob players. End of that season, they decided to dissolve the club and go their separate ways as two individual clubs. Over the next 12 years, Wright, they managed to win 3 titles and were runners-up 4 times. Pretty impressive for a college of less than 200 people. And then, so kudos to the Wright guys. And then in 1972, the Great Austin College opened. And in its first year, Austin was an all-ladies college, and we're lucky to have 2 of those original Austin ladies here with us tonight. Pam and Patricia, give us a wave. Then in 1973, Austin started admitting blokes, and one of those blokes was Pam's husband, Larry. Larry, give us a wave. Now, Larry was integral to the formation of United because he was one of the guys who set up the Austin Rugby Club in 1973, and Austin filled the teams in seconds and thirds, and they were paired with Wright in the draw, similar to the way Glen Innes and Tenterfield are at the moment. Wright were running out of numbers because everyone wanted to go and live in Austin and Page instead of Wright. It was getting a bit old. So Wright played first. Austin played seconds and thirds. The Austin guys at the end of second grade would crack a keg so everyone would come down and watch the Wright guys. Inevitably, as the season wore on, some of those Austin guys started running on as replacements for Wright. Hopefully it wasn't the guys who'd been at the keg, but who knows. And then inevitably, Austin guys started getting selected in the Wright first 15. Notably Slack John Hughes, a great United figure. So for the 1974, the start of United really. So 1974, the 2 clubs decided to formally combine and formed Wright Austin United. Then in 1975, they dropped the Wright Austin and just started calling them Club United, or United Colleges as it was later known. 1975 was also important for the club because that's when Javel, which had previously been an all-girls college, became co-ed, and guys from Javel started getting involved with United. Similarly, Drummond started getting involved with the club around that time. 1975, from another perspective, was very important for United because it's when the 2 Croft brothers, David and Richard, joined United as coach and president respectively. Now, many of you know Dick Croft from his time as president of the New England Rugby Union, but before that, Crofty was the everyman of United. He and Slack John Hughes from Austin, they were the heart and soul of the club for the first 10 years. So Crofty, you know, if he wasn't president, he was coaching or he was playing or he was doing all three at once. Similarly to Slack John, you know, if he wasn't running on the wing, he was mixing up in the front row or spreading the United Gospel across all four colleges. As Foz pointed out, in 1975, our friends at Armidale City went through the season undefeated. I believe they didn't concede a single try all year. And so it's fair to say they were a bit surprised when in round 3, 1976, they got towelled up by United. And ending a 28-game winning streak, and I believe Peter Horton was quite upset. Yeah. Anyway, 1976 was also an important year for United because it's the year we adopted the maroon and white striped hoops as our jersey. It's the year we became the Dirty Ducks, and I won't go into the story behind that. You don't want to know. It's also the year that one of the United guys, Tony Moran, guy from Walker, who was fluent in Latin, go figure, he came up with our famous Bibiti plus Lotti motto, i.e. sing more piss. Now, we always thought it was a great motto, but the club possibly took it a bit too seriously at times. Anyway, from there, jumping forward, 1979, United made its first ever first grade grand final. And that was against the city side that still featured, I believe, 4 Wallabies on that day. And we lost narrowly, I believe it was 7-3 in the end, but as one of the guys was telling me earlier tonight, United won every line-out, not an insignificant achievement against Armidale City, but we just couldn't stop Hickey. But it was a very tightly contested game. City worthy premiers, but great effort for United with our first ever grand final. Then jumping forward a couple of years, 1982 was the year the stars aligned for United. We went through the season, we only lost one game, the final round, that was against City. We won the minor premiership and we went on to beat a City side that still featured John Hipple and Greg Collinelson, 15-3 in the grand final. Now, Now, our halfback that day was John Spilsbury. Spills! So many of you all know Spills from his time coaching at the Blues, but he was a halfback in both the 79 and the 82 grand finals, and a great halfback at that. Now, our coach that day was Professor Robert Cumming, and many of you all know his grandson, Peter, who is playing for the Blues today. So, as Luke pointed out, we lost our grand final fullback, Ian Patrick, this week. Now, many of you might have known Ian as a mild-mannered academic from up top. But to us, he was a demon fullback, the impassable last line of defence, who calmly cut down a barnstorming Greg Cornelson in the 82 grand final to save a certain try. He was a very good player. So over the next decade, United continued to compete strongly. No more first grade premierships, but look, our last great hurrah was 1991. All 3 of our sides made the finals. I believe, seconds, we were both minor premiers and premiers. And we've got a whole bunch of the 91 guys here from that 91 side. Give us a wave, guys. Over there. And I've got to mention before, we've also got a whole bunch of the 79 grand final side here, so give us a wave, lads. So, you know, as most of you are aware with the zone and the university, a lot of the uni clubs, you know, were at the mercy of uni enrolments, and vagaries of uni enrolments. By '94, we just United didn't have the numbers to go on. Interestingly, Armidale City were in the same boat, so an unlikely merger between the 12 rivals resulted in the creation of the City United Rugby Club, which went on for another 8 or 9 years. Great effort, guys. Now, having players from across all 4 colleges, you know, people from most states and territories, all walks of life, United by nature was a very laconic, egalitarian club without pretension. Now, a great example of this happened quite recently, actually, the 2016 rugby reunion, where we had a game against Rob. And so being the Strops, they ran out a bunch of 35-year-olds and decided to play a very serious game of normal rugby against our late 40-something United guys. So anyway, as the game wore on, the Strops became increasingly frustrated that they weren't getting over the top of us. What they didn't realise was that we had 20 blokes in the paddock all day. And in addition to that, in the great tradition of United, we also stole their Rob Rugby Club footballs. Now, one of the great things about United was that everyone in college got involved. You know, as I said before, after Crofty and Slackjohn left, there was a bit of an organisational gap at the club. So these were the days before women's rugby. So luckily for us, the women of our colleges stepped up. They had their own club, the United Rugger Huggers. And they basically did everything for us. They, you know, they manned the canteen on match day, they sold the raffle tickets and generally kept us disorganised blokes on track to play every weekend. And we're very lucky to have our 87 rugger hugger. Yay! Absolutely. Now look, to sum up, I'd just say that over the years, United was a very happy rugby home to hundreds of students from around Australia and indeed the world, who will always remember the raucous road trips to Glen Innes, the unique mud and skulls of Ebor, the permafrost of Gyra, and the many entertaining nights in Armidale's various historical establishments. We are now quite happy, or more than quite, we're now very happy to be part of the Armidale Blues rugby family. And we'd like to thank everyone involved with the Blues, in particular Duffy, drummer, Moose, Luke and Jason, for their efforts in keeping the history and some of that Masonic United camaraderie alive at the Blues. And also, a big thanks to my fellow conspirator Hoax for helping me keep the United alumni going.
Thank you guys.